early, so give a chance to the devotees to ask questions. Yes.
Yesterday you were mentioning that there's different names, like root nam and different names in the marketplace of the holy name. And today it was mentioned if you're materialistic and you chant, will you still achieve those higher names if you're materialistic and chanting?
That came up in the verse today. No chatdeha dravina gravita lova pashan namade. If someone chants the name to try to get some material thing for their body, nikshiptam sham nafalajanakam shigrameva pravipraha, means the fruit of chanting the name will come, but na shigram, not quickly. So it will take time. If a person is dedicated and persistent and they just keep chanting, then it is said that nama parada yuktanam nama nevya prahantagam, which means that if someone chants continuously, then the holy name forgives one of the offenses to the holy name itself. But generally what will happen, if someone is chanting with a materialistic motive, then their nam aparad will fulfill the material desire, and then they'll give up chanting, because they got what they wanted. So, and then the other aspect where there's a danger is, if a person is chanting with the material, the objectives, then they'll tend to be proud, and they'll commit other offenses. They'll make offenses to Vaishnavas and things like this as well. And so, due to that, by making offenses to devotees, you can actually become a demon. And then you may be a demon for several lifetimes, until the reactions wear off, and then again you come back to bhakti. So, we should always try to focus on following bhakti as purely as we can. Even though the effects of, say, chanting Namabhas or chanting Namaprabha have been given in Shastra, those are not prescriptions. Oh, look at the effect of chanting Namaprabha. Why don't you try it? It's not a prescription. Even the glories of Namabhas. Oh, Namabhas will give you mukti. It's not a prescription. But it's a way of describing the greatness of the holy name by Kaimutik Nyaya. Kaimutik Nyaya means Kim Uta. If a person in ignorance is not even addressing God directly, but saying his name to refer to something else, he gets liberation from one name, then Kim Uta. What great thing you receive by chanting the holy name with faith and with devotion. So it's not meant to be prescribing Namabhas, all the glories of Namabhas. It's meant to be kind of, the glories of the holy name are so great, we cannot fully express them. So let's give a lower glory, which is also above everything else of this world, to give some indication how great is the holy name. So this is really important. Shastra should be studied under the guidance of Sadguru, because there are many glories in the scriptures, and people can read them and just pick and choose whatever glory they like. But it may be that that glory is not a prescriptive statement, it's a descriptive statement. And it has a purpose, another purpose as well. So just as a person, they should not go to the pharmacy and just help themselves to the medicines there. You have to have a prescription from a doctor. So in the same way, the Sri Guru, he prescribes the bhajan pranali, the method of bhajan, based on the Shastra, but that doesn't give a license for random people to just pick and choose from here and say, well, it's in the Shastra, Guru, and make up their own bhajan pranali. And people are doing that these days. You've probably seen a lot of it around. Yeah. Okay. Yes, any other questions? Yes, Narasimha Prabhu.
What if we can observe that there's some compulsion to behavior that is not conducive to spiritual life, yet we don't find the resolve within ourselves to cut it like directly?
Yes.
What course of action is best so that we don't become despondent in the sinking into that compulsion?
Srila Vishnu Thakur explains in regard to the verse Apichat Sudrataro Bhajate Mamanandyapak Sarveva Smatavya Samavyavadho Hi Saha, that if a person is engaged in Ananya Bhakti, that means they are performing devotional service to Krishna, not to any devatas. They're not worshipping Ganesh, Shiva, Durga, Surya, or any planet like Saturn, Shani Dev, and so on. So they're not worshipping Devatas to get some comic result, but they're just worshipping Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Then that person, he may have some weakness, and he may be overpowered by that weakness again and again and again. So, should we consider that person a sadhu? Krishna said, sadhu reva samantavya. As long as he never gives up the ananya bhakti, one-pointed devotion to his Ishtadev Krishna, then one should consider him a sadhu. Even if his bad habit follows him to the end of his life. But that person will have a characteristic, and that characteristic is that they constantly criticize themselves. Now, that's a type of lamentation, but it should not be the lamentation like, I'm so bad that I'm not going to do any bhakti. No. The person has to be always engaged in bhakti and criticizing himself while he's doing bhakti, that I have this bad habit. My heart is so black, it's like coal. You know, if you take coal and all the black dust is coming off, so you can let me clean it. So then you start cleaning it. But it doesn't matter how much you clean the coal, there's still black dust coming off it. So the devotee said, my heart is like that, it's like coal. It doesn't matter how much I try to clean, but more contamination is there. And he criticizes himself. But he prays, oh my Lord, though I cannot overcome this obstacle and my weakness, but I make a vow, I will never give up your service. And he stays engaged. Then sadhu reva samantavya. And for that person, then Chipram bhavati dhamatma shashvat Chanting ligachati kontya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashati. Krishna said that person, he quickly becomes righteous and he attains everlasting peace. And then Arjuna, he was amazed. It's, what do you mean? But you said sudaracharo. That means very bad things. But what if he does this and what he does this and what if he does that? Then Krishna's eyes became red and said, Kontaya pratijanahi name bhakta pranasati. That means Kontaya means Krishna's not saying my devotee is never lost, my devotee is never vanquished. Krishna's saying, Arjuna, you take mridanga and cartels and go in the middle of the marketplace in Gainesville and beat the drums and loudly proclaim Name Bhakta Pranashati, Krishna's devotee is never vanquished. You say it. Krishna's saying that because, you know, Krishna, he said so many things and then it turns out to be not true. You know, he said that I will not take up a weapon on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But what happened? When Bhishma was attacking Arjuna, to save his devotee, he broke his own word to keep the word of the Bhishma true. So Krishna can break his own word to keep the word of his devotee true. So Krishna never said, oh, I declare it boldly, my devotee is never vanquished, because someone may say, oh Krishna, or some excuse comes. So he said, you say it, because everyone knows if a devotee of Krishna says something, then Krishna must make it true. He must make it true. So, but it does mean that the devotee in that life, he cannot attain a very high stage of bhakti. But by criticizing himself again and again, and being humble, and staying on the path of bhakti, then at the end of that life, that obstacle may be removed, and then in the next life he can go on without that obstacle. So as far as possible, we should try to fall at the feet of pure Vaishnavas, and confess, to express our weaknesses. And simply by the confession, also, it can go away. My Gurudev gave an example that when he first came to the mat, he used to sleep sometimes in Harikatha. So he went to Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav and said, I don't know why, but sometimes I feel drowsy and I sleep in Harikatha. And Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav said, because you have admitted your faults, you have confessed your fault to me, you will not be touched by this ever again. And then from that day, he was completely wild. In every Harikatha, completely absorbed with no tiredness at all, for whole life. So like this, we should not hide our faults, we should not hide our weaknesses. It's like if someone has cancer, but they don't go to a doctor, they're trying to hide it. What will happen? It will just spread and they'll be ruined. So in the same way, if we have any difficulty, any problem, then we should not hide it in a simple way. we should come to Gurudev and Vaishnavas and open our heart, and then they can, by their mercy, can remove it. And then we can attain some high level of realization. Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.